We get to build a race car.
We had to buy the car from a teacher.
$10,000 what you're given.
9-week time frame.
Race it against another school.
We're gonna go hunting for this notorious bug they call a yellow jacket.
We're gonna cook up some eagle stew.
Both teachers donated their cars, so they got to keep the $10,000 for parts.
The car's at Dixon right now at a body shop.
We got a whole lot of work to do here in a short period of time.
If that car were in my shop, I wouldn't be able to get it done by that deadline.
No one scratches it. Don't break fingers.
We need to get cracking.
There have been very few people in this country that would have got in a car knowing kids built it. We got a driver, Pro 5-0 champion Tony Bischoff.
Our car show was a great success.
Some people's been my juniors.
We really started feeling bad. We got to finish that out, and they didn't get to do that.
The car now is in a place called Titan Engineering because they had to do some cutting that we're not able to do here.
Well, we were gonna stay about 3 weeks behind, and
I'm 3 weeks behind. I'm praying for rain the 3rd. Well, it's a little tight. You know how we can fix that?
Grind it down.
Grind it down.
He's up there about every day, working on it after school.
Yeah, I got a couple of good kids. One of them's Kyle. He's here every time we've been here. As a matter of fact, he was here today before I was.
Coming along.
I got tied up at school, and he was calling for me, wondering where I was.
It was a lot of mights and might nots. It just depends on if we got all the parts in we needed.
The car came back from NADC, and Tim had me come out here to look at it. And the rear end that was under the car was not correct. I think my statements to Tim was, I don't think God can drive the car. So he wanted to know what we should do about the rear end of the car.
Ho here.
You're fixing to drop the rear end on the ground here. And then that's when he went and got a 9-inch Ford, new housing, braced up housing, all the 4-link. It was all professionally built.
It looks a whole lot better. Tires on it. Truly does. We got the steering put on it tonight, the shaft, and then we get that in it. And then we can start worrying about the floorboards and sheet metal and go from there. In a week, it's look more like a race car than it has in 6 weeks. If this thing runs good, we may have to take it on circuit.
Yeah, circuit.
You mentioned kids and race cars. That just don't go well. But once he met our kids, and that was the deal with everybody, they start talking to him like adults. You Tony?
That's me.
Yep. Michael?
Nice to meet you. I'm Tony. Megan. I'm Megan. Nice to meet you. Chris. Nice to meet you, Chris.
Todd Collins. Met Bowling Green.
Yep.
We were very fortunate to be able to work with Tony Bischoff on a motor. He really don't have time to do things like we were wanting him to do. That deal was bigger than anybody could imagine.
Well, we get your engine ready to go here, so we'll go in there. We'll show it.
These
show it
guys
to you.
have never seen one on a dyno before, so it's going to be the first time for them. So
very good. We don't hook
excited.
mufflers up, so it's going to be very loud. So you guys might like that. Maybe I don't know. So.
That was our engine. That was like our baby.
That was awesome. A lot of buttons.
That was the heart that was put into our car. So it was tear-jerking exciting.
You might put a little bit more ignition timing in it. I think we'll pick our power up a little bit.
Now, they put together a motor that was a beast.
If someone was walking on the street and try to buy a motor like that, how much would it cost?
This engine would cost about $20,000.
More than some people's cars.
You know, we changed the castor oil on this thing, and over some racing oil, this thing's picked up like 5 horsepower. That's it's pretty impressive for a regular shelf street oil.
This was technically a field trip, but for Chris, it was just plain hooky.
When it was time to go get our motor, I had to talk to my coach about me missing practice. He let me know that if I did miss it, I'd be suspended for the game.
Thank you. Yep. It's a pleasure meeting you guys.
I'm glad I did what I did and went and got the motor. I was suspended from the game.
Man, we've been 1,000 miles in the last 2 days picking up parts. That's not even them. Me and you ran over the top and right in. Got it?
We're cramming for the exam.
It's gonna be down to the wire.
If everything else falls in place, we should be up and running.
All of what we did just now, have to take it all back out, drive to Muscle Shoals, pick up another one.
I got to make a public,
An apology?
yeah, sort of to the band.
See, I don't understand that. What's been an English trip? You know, would they have kicked you off the football team for going on an English trip, or would they kick you out of the band for going on a history trip?
Mr. Applegate's, he's been accepting, of a lot of it. There's some of it where it's just like, look, this is how it's got to be. I'm on a time frame. I got stuff that's got to get done. I'm sorry about band. I know my part.
That's not even them. Today's the big day. The engine's going in. It's time to get serious. That's fuel pumps.
I got the head of that.
Oh, I was
You're pulling under there, dude. Don't do that.
I didn't even know we was getting a fuel pump today. Man, we've been 1,000 miles in the last 2 days picking up parts. Normally when you order this motor, you get a whole lot more horsepower than we got. This motor should have went over 800 horse, close to 900. When we put this 700 horsepower limit on it, we had to really detune the motor to make it work. We had to run a different cam. And if we'd have just walked in off the street and said, hey, build me a motor, he'd have put a different cam in it, and we'd been looking at close to 900 horse off this small block Ford, so. Come on, we're gonna ride it out. Me and you ran over the top and right in, okay? So you go on that side. Don't push on the motor.
Come on, we're gonna ride it out. Come on, we're gonna ride this out. Don't fight it, it's ignited now.
Let's see. Let me look back there. Got it? Yeah. Good call.
We're cramming for the exam. I think we'll get the transmission over, maybe bring it over and go ahead and set it in.
Tim was trying real hard to make this work. Plus, he was having to find parts, and the parts were coming in, and we were just kept. Every night, I gave him a new list.
Getting the fenders hung is crucial. We want to get the car set back on the ground. So I think we're on the right track. We got some good guys helping us.
We're gonna get it close. We're gonna get it real close. It's gonna be down to the wire right now, provided we don't have any more snags.
Today's like Christmas. I mean, we had boxes of stuff and we could go. We're finally getting on some smooth ground.
It's hard to build a car of that caliber without spending serious money. And we were real fortunate that a lot of people gave us a lot of stuff.
Now it looks like we've actually made a showing in it now, that we've got it set on the ground, we've actually rolled.
If everything else falls in place like it has this week, we should be up and running.
Y'all are missing like 2 bolts over here on this side.
No, you putting them in, you're missing them.
I can't, they got a better view of them than I can.
Watch out.
Down from above.
It's gotta come up to 3/16. It'll be in the. It won't be in the mud.
Can you get that?
Yeah, but we better stop. We need to stop.
All of what we did just now have to be undone, and we'll have to take it all back out, drive to Muscle Shoals, and pick up another one. This part here is the mid plate that Michael and them made last Friday. It's 1/4 of an inch. It wasn't taken into consideration when they built the converter. So this bushing right here that slides up on the end of the torque converter and then goes up in the crank is 1/4 of an inch too short. That's where we are. I'll go, just Just get him to fix it. If he get everything right, I'll go get it.
Okay.
What do you say?
He's got all the stuff.
So he ain't gotta make nothing. What time does he need me there? I'll come pick it up.
Mr. Collins, he's put as much on the line as we have. He gave up time with his family, the same as, me, Megan, Goff, we all did. We all took time away from what we'd normally do to spend a lot of extra time up here at school working on a car.
Yeah, I'm supposed to be in there in about 8 minutes. Sorry I wasn't at practice today, and I'm sorry I was late to the game and everything.
While Michael was apologizing, I was riding the bench.
It's just this car, I've been working real hard on it, and I've put in more hours than anyone, and I want to be a part of everything there is to be a part of on it.
Getting benched was worth it. Oh yeah, without a doubt. We lost anyway. Most nights we'd end up around 11, but some of the nights we had to stay till 1, 2 o'clock in the morning. I figured if we worked hard enough, we'd be able to get it done.
It's about 15 minutes till we fire this baby up.
Eric came in late in the program. He jumped right into it. His uncle's into race cars. He worked for his uncle's afternoons after school, and he was here every night after school or weekends working on the car when he had time.
When I came here to Fairview, I pretty much immediately started working for my uncle. He works just on about anything dealing with engines or just maintenance and all kinds of stuff. He knew about the program, and he was wanting to help in any way he could, so he would let me off early so I could go up to Titans and work on it. For a lot of people, to get up to Dixon was kind of hard because a lot of the students in our class don't have license and all that. But then some of them, I don't see why they didn't want to come up there that did have their license, because I love to jump at that opportunity because that's like the best opportunity I could ever have. I usually got there about 6:30 because that's when I'd be able to get off of work and go up there. Most nights we'd end up around 11:30 and all that, but some of the nights we had to stay till about 1, 2 o'clock in the morning, sometimes 3. I figured if we worked hard enough, we'd be able to get it done.
We were excited that Clay was coming. When he walked in the room, he was larger than life. He was the stuff, man. This guy was great to have around.
So how's it going? Good. Are we ready to go kick some serious butt?
Oh, yeah.
I don't know a lot about Fords. Tell me about this motor.
It's a 351 Windsor, and Tony Bischoff and BES Racing, they did a little bit of customizing with some parts that we had donated, and they turned it into a 434 small block.
Horsepower numbers, what are we looking like?
678 at 7,800 RPM.
High RPM, huh? So this motor likes to be revved up. What is our hope for ET? Anybody thought about that much?
I think it's supposed to be like low 9s, we're in a quarter mile.
Low 9, that's pretty quick. That'll be a huge accomplishment if y'all can get that done. Boy, these guys are absolutely going for it, building the whole car, huh?
Yeah, that's the one thing, you know. The choices they had to run for this in the timeline is a great idea for a finished car, but a lot of work to get done meanwhile.
You may think, oh, it's not going to happen, but it can. All you've got to do is just put your mind to it. Ordinary people can do extraordinary things, and you've got a nice group of people here, and there's no reason you can't make this car run, and just got to focus on it and get it done. Fairview, I mean, that's a school, obviously been around a while, looks like the high school I went to. You know, a great group of kids there. They definitely started a project that is a very large project. I would never attempt to do one myself. Not something you'd want to do unless you have professionals from the start to finish on a project like that.
It fits. I'm glad it fits.
It's about 15 minutes till we fire this baby up, and it sounds good.
I went over everything this morning. I checked every bolt, put a hand on every one of them so we know that's right. So we're left just minor details.
Started there.
It was late at night. It was 11 o'clock before we got it started. My mom's sitting here going, because she had to go to work the next day. We got it fired up and it sounded really good.
I want to see it roll, man.
Hopefully we can do a burnout in the parking lot. That'd be good.
We were 2-3 weeks ahead of them. We got to a point, and bam, our feet got cut out from under.
I hope he's built another car besides this one. If not, it's going to be a disappointing day when we get to Bowling Green.
We built a full-fledged race car, and that's what it was about, not hopping up a street vehicle.
My little brother was going to drive it, but he just had a baby, so here I am. You know, you'd hope those kids had the same opportunity our kids had to build a car and get finished with a car. And when he told me he was building a tube car, I thought that's a disaster to begin with, because there's very few grown men put together a tube car.
We were 2-3 weeks ahead of them. We got to a point, and bam, our feet got cut out from under. You know, had to slide back, and we had to start again.
I hope he's built another car besides this one. If not, it's going to be a disappointing day when we get to Bowling Green.
We built a full-fledged race car, and that's what it was about, not hopping up a street vehicle.
I just don't see how in the world anybody could finish what he's got left, if that's what he's got left.
We've got these kids working, and they're all doing different things. I've got some expert people in their fields that's been here every night helping them. We've got, if you look around, they're working with the kids. Kids are getting a lot more learning going on right here than they ever could from me, because there's so much area they're covering. We've got kids that are fabricating, we've got kids that are working with plexiglass, we've got kids that are working with machines, or drilling, tapping, threading, bolting, unbolting.
When it was at Titans, it was kind of all in a frenzy, just hoping everything was going to get done and go good so we could get it to the track.
We're a couple of days away from the race, and finally the engine is coming in.
We were taking out the dummy block or whatever and getting it ready and getting the transmission and everything bolted in right for whenever he gets here, just set it right down in there and bolt it up. Yeah, I was getting real nervous. I didn't know if it was going to get done or not.
Cut it off. They left the pressure hose hooked up. It was squirting oil. That thing jumps RPMs quick. We know it runs. Let's see if it drives.
Yeah, big driver's seat. Thanks for the win.
Yeah. Come on now.
After we got it running, Mr. Collins said, let's take it to Union Hill, let's test it.
It's a mixture of feelings. This could either, be really good and makes a good run, or it could fall apart and slide backwards down the track.
My little brother was going to drive it, but he just had a baby, so here I am. So I drove everything else, but I never drove a drag car. So I all set up for my brother. We adjust the belts, and it's been 5 or 6 years, I guess, and I've been in any kind of race car. So ride in the seat.
Whenever we see Todd getting in the car, he's a little bigger man.
He and I are about the same height, but
Everybody was willing to work all night. Students were going to work all night. Everybody was ready to go. And someone walked in there, I don't know, about 9 o'clock, and they said the motor's not going to make it.
So that means we're not going to be able to put it in our car tonight unless some miracle happens, we can find an engine or borrow an engine.
It was just like letting air out of a balloon. Just everybody stopped right there.
It's a big letdown. I think the kids let down, the guys that's working on it's let down. Everybody here just kind of in a letdown mode.
We'll just have to wait for race day and see what goes on from there.
Kind of like going to the big Super Bowl and somehow they just don't let you play.
We better get it done. We've come too far to have it just sit and laugh at us and have to give up.
We're going to race them. Somehow, if they'll meet us, you know, we'll race them.
It was overwhelming. We've got a lot of friends, a lot of supporters. I was expecting a big crowd. That was bigger than I thought.
This ain't over till the fat lady sings, and she wasn't tuning up yet.
I'm just surprised that there's 2 cars here right now.
We pull it off, and everybody just kind of claps and just stops.
I'd love to see everyone make a win and have pulled this off and met their deadlines and see both the cars go down the track.
Me and Tim Hobbs had some words.
Back into the trailer of shame.
Both schools want to race each other, and there's a lot of pride, and there's a lot of people that really want to see these cars race.